Tomorrow's going to be better than people think because they have no plan. They have no real plan. Like, this is all like some hodgepodge put together type thing. So like tomorrow's a mixtape. It's not a playlist.
Yeah, I feel like anything could happen tomorrow. Like, I think it's the first SummerSlam in a while where it's kind of unpredictable. Like, I really can't predict any of the matches. It's like, yeah, you would think, like, and we'll talk about that. I'm just going to run down the card real quick, and then we just give some general thoughts before we get out of here. Because, like, the show tomorrow for the Universal title is Lesnar against Reigns against Joe against Strowman. The WWE title, we talked about Mahal against Nakamura. Cena against Corbin. Balor, the Demon, Finn Balor against Bray Wyatt. AJ Styles against Kevin Owens for the U.S. title. Alexa versus Sasha for the Raw Women's title. Cesaro, Sheamus for the Raw Tag Team titles. Naomi against Natalya for the SmackDown Women's title. Randy versus Rusev. Big Show versus Big Cass. So that's what's on the main show, and then we have like a couple kickoff shows like New Day versus Usos and the Cruiserweight title match. So, I feel like none of these matches are like I can 100% predict and say, oh yeah, this is what's definitely going to happen. Because, like you said, they're in such scrambling mode right now. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what their plans is for the rumored superstar shakeup that's going to happen after SummerSlam. So I feel like it's really anybody's game right now.
Yeah, but also, what's your level of excitement for these matches is the other question.
Well, honestly, the only matches I'm really excited about is the main event. Like that, Joe, Strowman, Reigns, Lesnar, all in a match together. Like they've kind of been building towards it. I will say that the WWE's had its faults the last couple of months, but one thing they've done very well is building up Strowman and building up Joe, where they both feel like they completely belong in this match with Lesnar and Reigns. And I could foresee any of the four of them winning. Like it would not be a far-fetched to see Joe walk out as champion or see Strowman walk out as champion because they've been built up so well. So that's the one match that I'm really intrigued about. Everything else I feel is kind of like a rehash that's already been done or something that I'm not super excited about. But like I think overall, depending on how they book it, it has a possibility to excite me. So I think like if they just go the ho-hum way, where they just like go with the expected winners, it can be boring. But if they kind of mix it up a little bit, I think it could be a very interesting pay-per-view.
No, I think it's going to be interesting, but interest is different than level of excitement, right?
Yeah.
Like who's going to tell a good story? Who's going to tell a good? Because I'm telling you, this is a down year. We're going into this SummerSlam, and I can honestly say I'm not intrigued by any of these storylines going in.
Yeah.
Not a single one.
Yep.
So my only hope is the unpredictability of the actual matches and the outcomes, right?
Yeah.
Like, so since this first shakeup, I think there's only been like one winner on each brand since the initial shakeup. Mm-hmm. I think on Raw, I think Alexa Bliss won.
Yeah.
Except now, but the whole damn division is faltering.
Yeah.
On both brands.
Yeah.
So I can't knock her for that.
Yeah.
She is the top dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think she won out on that. And then on the flip side, New Day.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that I feel like they went to a different brand, and the change of scenery was good for them. It was like when you trade a player. Like, just give them a new jersey and a new system. But hey, both hoops are still 10 feet. The court's still 96 feet long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Really freshened up New Day a lot.
Right. And it actually worked for them. So I'll give them credit. And I actually want to see that match. And I think Sheamus Cesaro versus Seth and Dean could work.
Yeah.
I really think that could work. I still think they're going to bring the Shield back together. I don't know if that happens tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm predicting that it happens tomorrow. I feel like Seth and Dean win the tag titles, and then they interfere in the main event and help Roman win the championship, and then that fully reforms the Shield with them all being champions.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So it'll pretty much be like Bash at the Beach, like 2017.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing: I don't think Braun is winning because, like, Braun is this decade's on this trajectory. He's this decade's Batista, the older guy that the WWE found
Mm-hmm.
Then like it took them a while to figure it out, but then all of a sudden they just built him out of nowhere. He just gained momentum just by him being big, and WWE just not messing it up.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way. So I feel like he could have a Batista 2005 run, and I feel like if that's the case, he can't win until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't have Braun winning tomorrow. I think this is the whole point of the 4-way is for Brock to lose, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think Joe might have the best shot.
Yeah.
Because I'm overthinking it.
Yeah, like I think my gut is going with Joe, but I think that if they want to kind of swerve the fans and like go towards like a full blown Shield reunion, you could have Dean and Seth like help Roman to win, and then I don't know if they're going to try and present them as faces or present them as heels. I think it would be better if they were heels, but I think that WWE is fully set on Roman being their golden boy, and they have no plan of turning heel. But that's what makes tomorrow interesting. So I'm not excited about it, but if they book it correctly, I will be excited.
Right. I mean, look, Seth and Dean are not good faces. Period. They never have been. And it's also what's Brock's UFC plan? What's his real plan? Because remember, John Bones Jones called him out. He wasn't calling him out because he was trying to get WWE to follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like, and they said it would take him because he still has to serve his year suspension. Brock does with UFC, so it would take him another 6 months to a year from the fight Jones anyway.
Yeah.
And his contract is up next year, and Brock's WWE contract is up next year. So
I feel like
the ultimate payoff would be for him to be champion going into Mania and then dropping the belt to Braun or Roman. That would be the ideal use of his contract.
Yeah, of course. But I feel like what's going to happen is that they're going to, like, Brock's going to drop the belt. He's going to start training for UFC. They're going to bring him back, like, around near WrestleMania time, and that he'll, like, face whoever's champion at the time, and then that will be his swan song. Like, he'll be challenging for the belt that he lost. Of course, he doesn't get pinned tomorrow. I think someone else eats the pin, so he could say, I never got pinned and I lost my title. So he tries to come back for it, whether he wins the Rumble or however he gets there. And then he winds up losing at WrestleMania, and then that's when he finishes and then goes to the UFC to fight Joe.
Right, but nobody ends WrestleMania retaining the championship. You know what I mean? Once it happened, it was the wackest one ever. It was Triple H, Randy Orton 25, which derailed Randy Orton to this day. Yeah,
it was hard. Well, I don't think that it probably won't main event. I think it'll probably the SmackDown fight and the WWE title will probably main event, and then Brock will come back and challenge for the Universal title, which will be the co-main event.
The WWE title's not even main eventing SummerSlam. I really like both guys. I really like Jinder, and I really like Shinsuke. But can we be real about Shinsuke? We were right. WWE doesn't know how to use him. We were right. Come on, man. His opening match versus Zayn in NXT is still the best thing he's ever done. It's still the facts.
Because they don't know, like, they keep tweaking little things about him, which is messing me up. Like, they tweaked his entrance, and it's not as good as it used to be. And then the whole thing that makes Nakamura an enigma is his strong style, is the way that he fights. So, like, the realistic way that he fights. That's what makes him appealing in the ring. And they kind of took that away from him to make him fight a more WWE style. I've been seeing, like, the strong style come out more recently. Like, he had a match against Baron Corbin a couple of weeks ago where he was very stiff and, like, and Corbin was giving it back to him. And I thought that was a really good match. You saw it in the match with Cena where, like, Cena was taking it and giving it. And I thought that made for a really interesting and entertaining match. So what I'm hoping is that they're finally realizing, okay, this is what Nakamura is good at. Let's have him fight this way instead of trying to get him to fight the way we want to fight. Like, that match against Dolph, it should have been a dream match. But they had it, like, go by the cookie-cutter WWE mid-card, like, you know, type of match with the rest holds and the, you know, whatever. And that's not the way that Nakamura fights. It just made for an uninteresting Nakamura fight. And it's like, if you got Nakamura and you brought him in for a reason, let him wrestle the way that made you interested in him in the first place.
I mean, look, the only excuse I give WWE for that is that when he initially debuted, you know, it was looking like he was going to have his first match with The Miz.
Yeah.
And then they had the shake-up.
Yeah, but that was their fault because Miz should have never left SmackDown. Like,
wait, we said this. We said
exactly.
This. Being optimistic.
Exactly. We try to be optimistic about it, but let's be real. Like, I mean, he has the Miz Taraj over there, and they're at least trying to salvage something with him now. But he's pretty much been just floating since he moved to Raw. Whereas when he was on SmackDown, he was the biggest heel on SmackDown, bar none. He was nobody was touching the Miz. Like, he made Dolph Ziggler, who people were pretty much not even thinking about anymore. He was so because he'd been so forgotten about, he made Dolph Ziggler into probably the most popular superstar on the roster just by feuding with him, because that's how much people disliked the Miz. That's how much he made them hate him. And he made a great feud out of that. And then they moved him to Raw, and he just has been floundering since then. And it doesn't make any sense. Why would you move such a hot act to another show when he was already doing such a great job on SmackDown?
Exactly. I mean, come on. He's not looking like my 2016 Jammy winner right now.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, this is a very disappointing follow-up to the Jammy that, he rightfully deserved last year. He was easily, the most entertaining wrestler. I'd say him and the New Day were the most entertaining wrestlers of 2016. And then they switch into Raw, and he just becomes just another guy. To the point where I'm not even excited for a Miz segment anymore, whereas when he was on SmackDown, whenever the Miz came out, I knew something good was going to happen. He was either going to give a fantastic promo, or he was going to have a great match, because he was having great matches over on SmackDown. They don't even allow him to do that on Raw. Now he's on Raw and he has 5-minute matches and they're over. On SmackDown, they were giving him main event slots and giving him 20 minutes to work, and he was knocking it out of the park and having great matches.
No, I'm not even excited about Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. That's what we all should be excited about. And
yeah.
We're not, we just have to be honest, man. We've had a hiatus, but this has not been a good year.
No, I think the reason our hiatus has lasted so long is because there hasn't really been anything worthy to talk about. Because last year, I remember there were so many great things happening that we'd message each other and be like, oh, we got to talk about this. We got to do the podcast. We got to talk about this. This year, it hasn't had that feeling. I haven't been excited about anything that's happened in the WWE in a while. The thing that's got me most excited over the summertime was the G1 tournament that New Japan was doing, because Kenny Omega, I think, is just going to another level, where I haven't seen a wrestler being this good in years. That's what got me the most excited, and that's never happened. I always like other promotions. I always liked ROH and TNA and WCW, whatever, but WWE was always my focus. But this summer it hasn't been, because they haven't given me any reason for it to be.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Tomorrow they have to blow it up. I mean, think about it, right?